Two players used to travelling, actually. Shaun Murphy has won tournaments in 11 different countries and Judd Trump in 9. So each has the chance to add to that long list here this weekend. I think as well, it's two players. It's never a chore for them to put the waistcoat on and go out and play. They absolutely love it. They love it when they're practicing. They love it, of course, when they're playing in these big tournaments. Judd Trump certainly loves winning. 28 ranking titles, 20 of them won since November 2018. That was the start of it all, really, when he won that Northern Ireland Open, and the tournaments just kept coming and coming. He's won 13 of his 14 matches played this season.
And that is where the question is asked of Shaun Murphy. How does he beat this man? How does he get one better over him today? Because you look at the head-to-heads and the last few meetings in particular, Shaun Murphy has played so very well in those matches. Well enough to win convincingly, and he hasn't won. So what does he have to do today? He pretty much has to play perfect snooker.
Certainly he's going to have to make the most of the majority of his chances. I think the safety side of it, Trump is on top in. We've been talking about his all-round game. It's become so strong. Murphy, though, can really blast anyone off the table if everything's working. Really blast anyone off the table if everything's working.
That's a good point, and I think if you are to really dive deep into this match and look for potential ways that Shaun is going to win this game, ways that Shaun is going to win this game, it may be those spells of 2-3 frames that he can get on a roll and just blast his opponent away. There's still a relatively short sprint, first to 6, and those 3-frame bursts that he's more than capable of could be very, very important.
Well, it doesn't help that the black's gone safe. Pink's tied up as well. But, of course, as with any big match, players just trying to settle into the environment here. Shaun Murphy hasn't played on this table before. He's been sort of round the back, grafting his way through. Of course, Trump's been camped out here all week.
And that is another very good point, Dave, because Judd's first match against Wu Yize, he got off to a very slow start. He felt that the table and the balls were just reacting slightly differently, and that just sort of halted him. He had to adapt very quickly. He got away with that one there. Shaun Murphy has to do the same today. New table, new balls, different environment. Of course, he's one of the best players in the world, Shaun. Very good at adapting quickly, but he has to do it today. Because it doesn't matter where you are in the world, whatever venue you're in, the outside tables always play slightly different to table 1.
Well, first glance, he's been a bit fortunate here where they've all finished up. He looked for a moment as if he would leave Trump nicely in. Missing the long red, but he's just finished not nice, actually. Trump, of course, guaranteed to be world #1 regardless, but it would mean a lot more to him if he could win the trophy as well. Shaun Murphy, actually, if he were to win the tournament, would go up to #2, which would be his highest ever ranking as a professional. Remember, it's double your money time today. They're guaranteed 100,000. It will be a guarantee of 200. And of course, the winner picks up 500,000 on tomorrow night's conclusion.
Oh, what a brilliant pot from Shaun Murphy. He was backed into a corner there from Judd, quite literally as well, right in the corner of that pocket. He's found one, and that's exactly what he's going to have to do today. At the times when Judd Trump is able to play those really telling safety shots, really ask the question of Shaun, he has to come up with the answers. It's become a bit of a theme for Shaun Murphy almost. He has a relatively poor season by his own standards and then follows it up with a really good season. This campaign so far has been excellent for Shaun, with a chance to still go deeper here.
6.
If he wins this match today, he'll have already earned more this season than he did all last season, which tells you everything you need to know. Shaun Murphy is playing some very good snooker.
I think the thing is, there's so many tournaments, if you get on a little losing run, you know, it's quite hard to get out of it. Confidence is sapped. He's had a break, obviously, since the World Championship, come back refreshed, feeling good. Got to the final in Shanghai, so great start to the campaign. Again, first glance, that kiss on the blue, not great.
8.
Just a kind of awkward table, but it'll sort itself out. This match, I think, will see a lot of heavy scoring in. Of course, Trump is just 3 centuries away from the 1,000 for his career. Shaun Murphy, no slouch either, though. 670 to his name. He's still on this red, but it's just been one of those frames so far. It's been a bit awkward.
Yeah, and he just took a little bit of a tour of the arena almost there, going around the table a few times. He's come to the decision of this red to yellow bag. Yeah, and that's a good pot, considering.
9. Random.
He'd love to get the pink on its own spot on the blue again at some stage, just tidy up the table. No, that's not the first time we've seen a shot like that played on this table. Myself and Phil noticed a couple last night from Ronnie. Didn't seem to strike it badly, but the cue ball just didn't quite respond as the player quite thought it might. And there you can see that cue ball hasn't come further down the table.
Shaun Murphy. 13.
Yeah, and there's an example of not the best safety shot, really. No, he's given Trump a shot at this red.
Well, that was being kind, Dave. It was far from the best safety shot. It was a terrible safety shot. He was under no pressure there. He's had a massive result, Shaun Murphy, that Judd Trump has run out of position, because there is no way that he should have even had a shot at that red to left corner.
It's just a frustrating frame, this. It's almost like they kind of would just want to start it again. It's just things going awkward. But yeah, there's an opportunity missed for Trump, for sure, not landing on a colour.
No. Yellow ball.
But Judd Trump's consistency,
Judd
as he
Trump,
gets in or tries to get in behind the black, It's quite incredible. The last time he lost before the quarterfinals in a tournament was December at the Scottish Open. So every tournament he's played since, he's got to at least the quarterfinals of. That is an incredible record. So many matches, and of course so many strong performances within those matches. So he definitely starts favourite here.
Attempted a 4-ball plant possibly there, Shaun. He came round to have a look at those 3 reds underneath the pink spot. Felt they were close to being set to left corner. His focus was mainly on the cue ball though. Could have done with it just coming past the black. Oh, but what a pot that is from Judd.
One.
Talk about shot maker. His intentions there was just to move that red away from the corner pocket. Obviously going in was ideal, and now Shaun finds himself in big trouble.
Foul in the miss. Shaun.
Of all the balls to hit, it's the blue. It's not the most inviting sort of table in terms of the colours. The reds are all in play, but the black's no good, the pink's no good, the blue's gone not in a great spot.
Just wonder if Judd will be tempted to gamble here, pot this red to right corner he's looking at and play a cannon to the pink and reds, possibly bring the blue into play. The only problem with that is he's taking a chance of not being on anything. But he doesn't want to keep going up for baulk colour because he won't be doing very heavy damage to this frame.
One.
Quite a controlled shot in the end. He sees every move, doesn't he? I mean, it's true of all the top players, really, but I just think Trump, he's been playing since such a young age, literally 5 years of age. It's just sort of almost now embedded in his DNA, all the moves on the snooker table. And what he's done, of course, is he's got older, he's just curbed the tendency to go for one too many or push the boat out. He plays very sensibly, while at the same time playing a very attractive game. When he won the World Championship in 2019, I mean, he started slowly, but towards the end, he was just completely unplayable. He made 7 centuries in that final against John Higgins, who made 4 himself. Second session on the Sunday night was like an exhibition. You wouldn't have thought it was, you know, the biggest pressure match you can play. He was absolutely superb.
14.
Probably up there with one of the, if not the best performance in a world final. I'll never forget that final match, how well Judd Trump played. He made John Higgins look like chicken feed in that match. It was just ridiculous standard. And John is one of the greats of our game.
$21.
So the gamble early on in this break to just promote a high value colour has paid off so far. Getting the pink back on its spot was important.
$28. $29.
So now the hard work really starts for Judd. 23 points, 29 to the good when this pink disappears. If he takes 2 reds and 2 pinks, he will need one of those reds over on the right side.
$36.
It's not finished great on this pink. So there's going to be a bit of travel in here with this cue ball.
He's a seasoned traveller.
42.
Yeah, red and pink, 44 the lead, 43 on. And of course the black not great for Murphy, so he's a big favourite here,
43.
Trump, if he can knock this pink in. Just checking that, but if he pots it, as I say, 44 in front, 43 on.
$49. Shot Trump, 49.
Well, there's definite incentive for Shaun here to pot this red and play on the pink. He's got a couple of big targets on this table to lay snookers. And it is just one snookered required.
1.
Does have the option now to pot red pink again, pot the yellow, and then lay the snooker from the green in behind the black. That is a massive target. And potting this red is just guaranteeing he gets high value colour from it.
8.
And now he'll be looking to leave himself just slightly high on this yellow to screw over that right side. Get somewhere over by that corner of the green pocket, and that would be perfect. Yeah, and he clicks his fingers, and I'm not surprised because he's missed a little bit of a trick there. He's not got a favourable angle on this yellow, can't get close to the green, which he's annoyed about. He needed to be playing up that side of the table on the yellow to right corner pocket. Needed to be a lot straighter.
$16.
Yeah, it's a bit of a chance miss, that. As is that.
Shaun Murphy, 16.
Well, clearly not happy with the path the cue ball took there. There is a slate line just by the balk line. Possibly caught that and deviated, but that's all history now. This frame is over.
Yeah, I don't think, we'll see if I'm proved right or wrong, I don't think this frame will be typical of the match. I think it will become more free-flowing. Murphy has got to try and obviously get used to this table. He's not played on it yet. But you expect with these two some heavy hitting.
12.
Anyway, it's going to be first blood to Judd Trump. Hoping today to reach a 46th ranking event final. This is one way to play the black. Hello?
Oh, it's close.
Hello? Judd Trump then takes the opening frame. Best of 11 in the semi-finals here in Riyadh. He leads Shaun Murphy 1-0. We're off and running then in our first semi-final here between Judd Trump and Shaun Murphy. Trump 1-0 up. Best of 11 to play Mark Williams or Si Jiahui in the final tomorrow. The balls went awkward early on, and also, as I say, particularly from Murphy's perspective, just trying to get a handle on the conditions. But I suspect we will see, as I say, some big breaks in this match. Let's hope so.
The second frame. Judd Trump to break.
Can't believe there's only one day left after this. It's been a very busy week. We started, of course, with 144 players, 8 tables. And of course, it's the first ranking event in the region for 16 years. The hope is that by coming here, snooker will inspire some young players. It happened in China, of course, and we've seen the results of that. We'll see Si Jiahui later. What's interesting about Saudi Arabia is that it's 32 million population, half are under 25, so there's a lot of youngsters to hopefully get involved in the sport. In the last decade, there's been a 300% increase in participation in sport here, so hopefully snooker will be part of that.
And I had a very interesting conversation last night with Ken Doherty and a friend of his, Solomon, here in Saudi Arabia. And it's very much the culture here for live sporting events to watch on TV, and possibly by bringing these tournaments, bringing these events and letting the people know that, you know, the best players of this particular sport are in the region, that they will come out and come and support the events and come and watch the snooker live, not just on the telly. And of course that's the aim going forward.
Well, this is true. The very first session at the Crucible in 1977, there were fewer than 300 people in attendance, so less than a third of the arena, but obviously it grew and grew as Judd Trump knocks in the red to middle. Britain has a 100-year head start on this region in terms of establishing snooker in the culture. It's going to take some time, but this is a great way to start a big international event with the best in the business.
4.
Nicely controlled. He's
9.
pretty much perfect on this red. He's got red at the back of the pack that he can play onto eventually. And in playing on it, leaving low, he can bring more reds into play.
10.
So these next couple of shots for Judd Trump are going to be key as to whether he can win the frame at this visit. Possibly just a fraction straight here, so just be pushing through.
17.
Possibly push 1 or 2 reds into play.
18. 25. 26.
And again, just flicks another red out. Absolutely as intended. He'd like to leave that red just to the right of the table there, because in potting this red, he could leave himself potentially an angle on the black to go
33.
into the pack, and that red then becomes almost a guaranteed ball to land on, a free shot to go into the reds.
34.
He's just about got that angle to play that shot. May not need to go into them too hard. Just a little glancing blow. Well, chose against it. Did have the angle there just to possibly push 1 or 2 out.
41. 42.
Well, this time he's high on the pink now. Has he just gone too far to top this cue ball through? Possibly. No, he was absolutely fine, and that is absolutely perfect.
Is this going to be 998
48.
in terms of centuries? We're getting closer to what would be a magical moment for Judd Trump.
49.
Just how he goes about his break building now, it's just so measured, so good to watch. He played the percentage shot a few moments ago, chose against going into them from the black. Found the perfect angle on the pink.
56.
And now he's got the balls exactly where he wants them.
57.
Yeah, he's just got such great focus as well. When he's out there, he sees only the 12x6. Just fashioning a path to killing these frames off with such clinical determination.
62.
A couple of balls from securing the frame, and then he can focus fully on the century.
63.
Begs the question how many centuries this boy is going to finish his career on. Still only 35 years of age. I think Ronnie was 43 when he made his 1000th. How high can he go? He's an absolute scoring machine.
Just overdid it for the blue. He's taken the green, and that means he needs one more red.
66.
He's got this one on the left-hand side, so it was a rather scrappy opener, but Judd Trump won it, and seems to have clicked into gear here in frame 2. Well, the red's in. He's lost the white a little here. There's going to be a good shot, obviously,
67.
to keep this going. 2 snookers needed to tie as it stands. Not to be, so
Shaun.
good 67,
67.
but no century, and Murphy is coming back. Trump in a very strong position, though. Well, that ends that.
1.
He actually made his 100th career century in the final of the 2011 China Open. That was his first ranking title.
6.
And you do feel if he's here tomorrow, if he's not done it today, it's going to come. Maybe in the final in Riyadh.
11. 12. 17. 18. 22.
For Shaun Murphy to work out how the table's playing, he's got to actually be at the table.
24.
This has been all Judd Trump, this frame.
Judd
67
Trump,
did the
24,
damage,
the
and Judd
second.
Trump in just 10.5 minutes has won frame 2. So a great start for the world number 1. He leads the semi-final 2-0. This is Riyadh, the latest stop on the World Snooker Tour, the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters, where we've spent the last week and a bit, and it all concludes tomorrow night when we find out the identity of our champion. Just 4 players left: Mark Williams and CJ Wee up this evening, Judd Trump and Shaun Murphy here this afternoon. The trophy that they're actually playing for is based on the Kingdom Tower here in Saudi Arabia. We'll see it in full, of course, when it's presented tomorrow night. 99 stories. Right now, Shaun Murphy just trying to climb one rung of the ladder here in this match and get on the scoreboard. He knows, of course, how confident Trump is. There's no question marks at all in Judd Trump's mind about his game. So the fact he's 2-0 up, still early on, but Murphy cannot afford to let him run away with this.
It's quite refreshing actually at the top of the show to hear Murphy's interview and hear what he had to say about that final in Shanghai that he shared with Judd Trump at the start of this season. The fact that Shaun himself learned so much from playing Judd Trump in that match. He's the proper professional, isn't he? He's always learning, he's a student of the game. Been at the top for so long, but you do never stop learning. He's become very much the teacher in recent years, Judd Trump. Just dishes out lessons left, right and centre. He's in this purple patch of a winning streak. You just fancy him going deep in every event he plays in. He pretty much does. What can Shaun Murphy do today to stop him? Kyron Wilson played exceptionally well in the final of Xi'an to stop Judd Trump momentarily in his tracks, but he's bounced back here this week, Judd.
Yeah, I'm sure the other players would look at Wu Yiza and say, why couldn't you just have knocked him out when you had the chance? 4-0 up. To be fair, he didn't get real clear-cut chances after that, just half chances, but that could have been the end of it all in round 1.
You said back or from there?
I didn't quite
Just
reach.
from there, yeah? Okay.
Marcel Eckhart just checking whether he wanted the white put back, because of course if he did it again he'd actually be warned. But he just caught the red. Bit cagey, isn't it? One of these frames with reds that sort of in open positions.
Yeah, and there'll be a glance in a few moments' time. These balls, no doubt, will be getting set back up.
Well, I just saw Marcel actually just just glance at them there, but there was no, the looks were not reciprocated.
Come on, Shaun, stop messing around.
It's hard to see how this will be resolved, really.
It is touching ball.
Well, a touching ball does help. Judd can just lay up behind the black now. Kind of resolves this little stalemate. And leaving it touching, though, Shaun has just handed the control to Judd Trump in this frame. Probably back to square one after this shot, though, just nestling back into the pack.
Well, there's a little
You agree on
chat
stalemate?
between
Yeah.
them and the
Thank you,
re-rack. I
David.
mean, it
Re-rack,
was
please.
always coming, I think, because they didn't seem likely to drop a real blunder there. So quite sensible. It was a stalemate. We start the frame again as Marcel Ecott sets them up.
It's been a brilliant week though here in Saudi Arabia. Been so many storylines, but it's come down to this. Not possibly the semi-final lineup you may have predicted, but a semi-final that is very attractive. Both matches, Mark Williams and Si Jiahui, to come later on today.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to predict any lineup these days, but I mean, we've got three established winners and a player so many of us feel will become a winner in the near future, maybe tomorrow night. That would be some way to really announce himself, wouldn't it, Si Jiahui, if he could win this? We'll find out how he gets on against Mark Williams
Shaun,
tonight. But as it is, frame 3's been re-racked. 2-0 to Trump.
I think you can go. Who's that? Oh, understood.
Well, another Trump special finds its target. You cannot afford to leave Judd Trump with hand on table in baulk, particularly when there's a red available. He's going to go for it every day of the week, and he usually knocks them in. Just potted that black a little thick, which meant the cue ball didn't quite get round. Would have potted it in the left side of the pocket as we saw it. Would have liked it to have gone in the right side. It would have just widened that cue ball off the cushions.
Nine.
So he's in again. Of course, he won 5 ranking titles last season. He holds the record with 6 in a single season, 1920. That's 2019-2020. 28 total, level with Steve Davis. Steve didn't have this many to play in, it's got to be said, in the 1980s. I mean, when he turned pro, the only ranking event was the World Championship. So eras are difficult to compare, but the numbers speak for themselves, whatever era you're in, and we know, of course, how competitive this one is.
$14.
He landed absolutely plumb on that black to just float through for the red. Just presents a corridor into the
21.
pack. This red directly above the black once removed.
$22.
And he can pot red, black, red, and then black again. Go into the pack of reds.
Got a flash on your camera, I think.
Knowing that that red that he's closest to at the minute is the ball that he will land on.
29.
He just had a little look at the 2 reds beneath the pink. He feels they're close to a plant to this right corner.
37. 38. 45. 46. 52.
'Again, so much control from Judd demonstrated here. Taking absolutely no chances at going into the pack, giving the possibility for something to go wrong. He's worked this little puzzle out superbly well, and if he takes red, black, red colour,
58.
he'll be over the winning line in this third frame very quickly. We've not even reached 5
59.
minutes. And it's already looking over.
$66.
Well, one good piece of cueing on this red surely will be on a colour as well. That should be 3-0.
67.
Make sure the blue goes in. Trying to get the reds into play as well, but the point's more important. 2 snookers needed. Problem is, obviously, all the talk about the 1,000th century's on his mind as well, isn't it? You know, we keep mentioning it to him every time we see him. But there's nothing wrong with 60 or 70 to get a nice lead in a frame. 2 snookers needed, otherwise Trump's halfway to the final.
Well, he's just turned into a piece of granite here. Every time Shaun gets to the table, it's when snookers are acquired. Judd is playing a very measured game here, keeping it unbelievably tight. He's fully aware of the capabilities of Shaun Murphy. He wants to give him not a single sniff at getting in this match, keep him froze, keep him sat in that seat.
1.
Which is what he's done, isn't it? The last 2 frames and half of the first one.
Six.
We're so used to seeing Judd Trump playing the flair snooker, and he has all the big shots. But this side of his game is something that has come on no end in recent years. He just
11.
wants to bury his opponent. He's got that winning mentality now.
12.
Doesn't want to give you a sniff out there in the arena. He's got Shaun fully boxed in.
$19. 20. 27. 28.
he can't make the ton, obviously, so there might be a bit of flare stuff coming up.
$35.
Poor shot from the black there to land wrong side of the yellow. Well, he's bullied that green into the pocket.
40.
Even the balls are scared not to go in. Oh, stop
44.
it, Judd. Stop it.
Cue ball's taking a right old hammering, isn't it? It's going into all sorts of places with all sorts on it.
49.
So the 67 did the damage. She got in again. Trump has dominated this match thus far. Murphy in big trouble with 1 to play before the interval. Trump leads him 3-0. Welcome back to Riyadh, our penultimate day here, and in the first semi-final of the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters, Judd Trump looking really good, leading Shaun Murphy 3-0, so halfway to victory. Murphy has surely got to win this one, just a bit of hope at the interval. I saw him actually just before the match, he looked very confident, he was looking forward to it, but he spent a lot of time in that chair, is the truth.
Shot Trump to break.
I think there's a great deal of respect being shown from Judd Trump here. As I say, he's fully aware of the capabilities that Shaun Murphy has, and he's giving him no chances whatsoever. There have been a number of times Judd, in those previous 2 frames, could have gone into the pack of reds early, get the balls open, but he's chosen against it. Just to chip away at it, keep it really, really tight, give Shaun no chances whatsoever, keep him cold.
Well, certainly when they first played, when Trump qualified for the Crucible at the age of 17, so we're going back to 2007, he did not have this safety game. I don't think he knew what a safety shot was. Just went for everything. He got plenty. Very raw, very talented. You could see the potential. Obviously, he's had to, over the years, refine that. And, well, what a formidable game he plays now.
Shaun just doing the right thing, getting back up after a phone just went off on his backswing. And that, not the shot you want to be taking on when you've been sat in your chair for 2.5 frames. Had to fully commit to it. No real control over where that cue ball was going to finish. I suppose in a way he's been quite fortunate as to where it has finished.
It was tough, this, but it shows how confident he's feeling. You fancy getting it. Look where the cue ball is. As he plays this shot, he would have been on the black.
Well, I think if he'd have knocked that in, we could have just all left, because that would have been ridiculous. We'd have all seen enough. You can't pot them at that pace down the rail. But he obviously fancies them. Played it in such a way he felt he wasn't going to leave anything for Shaun, but he had done. He'd left that thin red, and this now Shaun's best chance of the match so far. But it won't feel like an easy chance for Shaun Murphy, having been sat out. He's got to try and play his way into this break now, find a bit of rhythm.
Yeah, it's definitely his best chance. I mean, he didn't really have any in frames 2 and 3. The first, the balls are awkward. This is different. And we talk about Trump's century, 17 this season. He's number 1 on the list. Murphy's actually second with 14. So, you know, he's been scoring well also during the campaign. You'd love one here. Just a frame-winning break. Just stay at the table and, more importantly, keep Trump away from it.
Even that shot there, he's landed nowhere near it where he wanted to be. That cue ball has pulled up, which makes this black thinner than it should have been. He looks a bit bemused as to how he's landed where he has done. In fact, he's having to play a black off the spot with the rest from being right behind the red. It's a good job he's good with the rest. Of course, when you sat out for so long, he hasn't got the touch. He's just having a look at that red ball. I was convinced that the cue ball just pulled up a fraction. Possibly a heavy contact, something you don't see very often nowadays. So he's just chasing his cue ball for the time being, Shaun.
Bramble.
Not really the sort of shot you want 3-0 down to Trump in a semi-final. But look at that. That's every credit for Murphy knocking it in. He's not out the woods yet. But he's always been such a confident cueist. And he's having to back himself here, trying to just haul himself into this match.
Well, he can't buy a positional shot to save his life here, Shaun Murphy. One of the best 20 breaks you'll ever see. And again, he's in no man's land. Potted that red thick, which meant the cue ball didn't travel on as far. Can he keep this break going? He desperately needs to. Yeah, it's a brilliant pot from Shaun.
27.
But as good as that pot was, he'll be very eager to find a few good positional shots. He doesn't want to have to keep playing that type of shot. And in the end, he's come unstuck.
Shaun Murphy, 27. One.
Yeah, and the thing is, he actually left Trump with a nice angle there to get Reds into play. Big visit this, I think. If you can get to 4-0, it is hard to see a turnaround against a player just in the form of his life, even from the key of Shaun Murphy.
Yeah, and he knows, Judd Trump, that even at 3-0 up, he won't feel all that comfortable. We saw yesterday Neil Robertson won that frame just before the interval to keep his hopes alive, then won the frame after the interval, and all of a sudden 3-2 is a different prospect. Judd, the winner he is now, he wants to try and do as much damage as possible to this match as quickly as possible, and that means winning this frame.
Last shot didn't go to plan though, just caught the red.
Shot Shaun bait.
It's a great lineup, isn't it? They're all very different people more than anything else. I saw Mark Williams earlier. He said, "Oh, it's not bad, is it? I'm nearly 50. I can't see, and I'm in another semi-final." But that's Mark. Doesn't put any sort of intensity into the matches at all until he actually starts playing them, and then he's as fierce a competitor as anybody. As Murphy attempts this red, just stays out. You got Trump, who will keep himself to himself before a match, just chat with his brother, doesn't sort of get involved in general chat. Shaun Murphy, you quite often see sort of talking to people and quite social, and of course CJ, it's still relatively new for him. Trump lining up a long one here to try and get back in here in frame 4.
One.
Middle of the pocket.
I can't wait till I'm Mark's age of 49 and I can't see. Hopefully then I'll start flying as well. Brilliant red from Judd Trump. Just the sound it makes crashing into the back of the pocket, you know he struck it well.
Four.
Just come up a little thin on this red to right corner, but as he always does, eager-eyed. They've spotted a plant to middle. Yeah, always look near jaw.
Shot Trump. 4.
And again, he's not left anything easy for Shaun Murphy. There is a red to right middle. Now he's very often tempted, Shaun Murphy. This has to go. Brilliant. Oh, he's been very unlucky, really. The cannon to the red. Anything but that contact. And he's on the black. Well, after such a brilliant pot, he deserved to be on something there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Saudi Arabia has seen any rain for quite some time, but Shaun will possibly feel like it's raining on him at the minute. Everything is going wrong. And that man there, Judd Trump, is doing all the damage.
Yes, he's just having to try and stay patient, keep his discipline. That's all learnt over the years, that's all experience. He knows that one shot can turn matches, and he's hoping it's going to be one in his favour, either a Judd Trump mishap or something from the top draw from him. But Trump is also so disciplined in the way he approaches this. He's not going to be opening any doors if he can help it.
And again, you may be sat watching thinking that that black was a big target to get the cue ball in behind, and questioning why Judd didn't choose to get that white in behind the black. The reason being, he's used the black as the covering ball for the red on the left of the table, and what that has done is put Shaun in a lot of trouble. Cue ball welded to the cushion, no access to that red to the left side. Again, just forcing Shaun into playing something he doesn't want to play. There's a game of chess going on out there at the minute, and Judd is very much in the driving seat.
Yeah, I think he's learned to sort of enjoy these sort of frames, which maybe, or certainly when he was younger, he wouldn't have really been interested.
And that was why it was important for Judd to try and cover that red, because having left Shaun a shot at it, it then meant Shaun was able to gain control. Played a good shot there, Shaun. Tap on the table from Judd, acknowledged, and that's good to see. Judd knows he missed a trick with that previous safety shot. Probably expected to be in trouble the next time he came back to the table, and he is in trouble. If he could park the cue ball right in the jaws of the yellow pocket, it may not leave anything for Shaun. That red to middle may be too thin. That's a big ask to get there. Yeah, it's all he could do really there, Judd Trump. He was backed into a corner, just trying to literally put the cue ball into that corner, but was always going to leave a tempter potentially for Shaun, or at least hand back control. This has all come from 2 shots ago, 3 shots ago. Judd Trump allowing Shaun to play that safety shot from the red on the side cushion.
Yeah, he was in early, wasn't he? Just couldn't quite control the cue ball. His highest break just 27, Shaun Murphy. Trump's had 67 and 72.
One.
Well, that's an absolute cracker from Shaun Murphy. He took a moment there to weigh up his options. He felt that there was value in taking this red on. Although had he missed it, he was leaving everything for Judd Trump. What a pot from the magician.
Well, I did say sometimes one shot can change things. Maybe that's the one. At least in terms of this frame anyway.
Sometimes just one shot for Shaun can get him really pumped up and feeling good again all of a sudden. Forget the scoreline, just the single shot will make him feel brilliant.
9.
And when he's feeling good, he's looking good and he gets that stomp going around the table. If he wins this frame, he'll be absolutely buzzing to go into the interval 3-1 down.
Yeah, he's got great presence, a bit like Neil Robertson, who we were talking about yesterday. Although he's just a little cut back now. Would have liked that cue ball just to have bounced a little.
Because all of a sudden, going into
15.
the interval, if he wins this frame, 3-1 down, he's 2 behind. He probably thinks or feels he could have been 4-0 down, 4 behind. That's such a big difference in terms of the psychology going into that interval.
Well, he's got a useful lead. A couple of safe reds in his favour. Doesn't need them, so just now about minding his work here. Should be on the scoreboard, you feel. Something to build on after the 15-minute break. If he can come out and start knocking in the sort of balls that he just knocked in there, the first red, of course he can play anyone off the table. It's his 52nd semi-final in a world ranking event, looking to reach a 27th final. These guys
29.
have come good so often, haven't they, down the years, in a very, very competitive era for the sport.
$30.
Brilliant from Shaun. He stood up well here.
35.
That initial red was superb. A red good enough to win any frame of snooker.
36.
This feels like a very big frame for Shaun Murphy to win. He's been largely frozen out of this match. And all of a sudden, he's just got his tail up somewhat. Just that little glimmer of hope.
42.
Still a very long way to go in this match. Judd still only halfway there.
43.
But Shaun Murphy's living on a prayer, isn't he? He's got himself involved in this match. And there could yet be some fireworks to come.
46. 47. 51. These
are just enjoyable moments for Murphy. He's been sat in that chair, hasn't he, most of the afternoon, really, and when he's been at the table, it's been awkward. But he's found a way in.
You can just see
56.
the confidence coming back to Shaun Murphy. Even the way he pops his chalk back in his chalk pocket, even that has authority behind it. He's feeling pretty good about things all of a sudden.
60.
Which in a strange way is very strange because he's 3-1 down, but that's how snooker works. Just give Judd a little taste of his own medicine here, just flare a couple in.
65.
Hello. Good effort, good break. 65 from Shaun Murphy. It's been Judd Trump who's made the early running in this match, going into a 3-0 lead, but Murphy has won the pre-interval frame, so it's 3-1 at the break.
stick in here, try and win. You know, obviously I want to win if I lose. Wish him all the best and get on.
Well, Willow says his eyes might be going. His game certainly isn't going anywhere. For you, Steve, has he been tested yet in this tournament?
Possibly not. You know, he came through that first game against Tepchaya 5-4, said he played terribly in that match, but had to show a lot of character to come through that game. Tepchaya plays a kind of very open game, so Mark was always going to get chances to get over the line. Did well too, but then since then, 6-2, 6-0 to come through. He's 12-2 in aggregate, Mark Williams. I don't think he has been tested. He'll be tested tonight against Si Jiahui.
He specifically will then be fresh for this one because the long matches, the Tepchayas don't take much out of him. Like we said before, he doesn't come off the table and think, oh, that was a hard one. He's just good to go.
He's good to go, and he's one of those players that gets better as the tournament progresses.
Okay.
You know, he's probably more vulnerable earlier on, but once he gets through those tough matches, he gets better and better and better, and he's looking really, really good. But I agree with Stephen. I think it's a different test for him tonight. You know, he's playing against one of the up-and-coming players. You know, fast becoming one of the most exciting players on the circuit. And when he's flowing, like we saw him against O'Sullivan, he's full of confidence. He goes for his shots. He gets the balls open early. He wants to make big breaks. He is going to be a real top player, and he's fast becoming one already.
I can't wait to see the match. Well, let's hear from him now.
是的，今天我对自己的状态还是比较满意的。就整体来说，觉得打奥沙利文的话，自己会兴奋一下，然后会把自己的状态调动起来，所以今天打的就不错。当时的想法就是打到大概10套左右，还没有意识到。 当时确实没有意识到全部打黑了，然后我发现，我想了一下，我好像没有打过别的彩球，然后就开始往那方面想了，可能心里就有波动了。其实我之前有过，但是没有追的，就是局面没有那么好。这次局面非常好，所以给自己的压力可能有点大吧。我觉得马克威廉姆斯准度非常的好，然后他的思想会比别的球员 更加跳跃一点，会做出一些意想不到的效果，所以我觉得马克威廉姆斯他的经验非常好，压力他的心态也会比别的球员会更好一点，我觉得，所以我觉得他是一个很值得尊敬的球员。没有很放松，就是会有一个度，但没有那么紧张，然后会给自己一种动力，一种就是压力化为动力，然后让自己会打得更好的那种感觉。
That was a really fascinating insight there, by the way. And it also, both players have an awful lot of respect for each other. But Steve, listening to C there, what I found really revealing, he talks about the 147 attempt. He said, I wasn't aware I'd gone for all the blacks. He just plays so instinctively.
I wasn't aware that he was on All Blacks until about 48, 56 kind of area. You know, it was very much about winning the match last night for Si Jiahui. It was such a big game. The max would have obviously been the cherry on the top, but you know, it was a huge match, not just to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan in a huge ranking event, but to get in the top 16 for your very first time. He'd have gone to bed last night absolutely delighted with his day's work, but really, really excited to take on Mark Williams, one of his heroes again, who we saw that match at the World Championship went all the way. It could well go all the way tonight.
C mentioned Mark's snooker IQ.
Yeah.
Does he change his game for Mark, or do you just do, listen, it's worked this far, keep on going?
Oh, no, he shouldn't change his game at all. But it will be a different type of match for him. There's not that completely different to Ronnie O'Sullivan. Mark will make it difficult for him, and if the frames go scrappy, Mark is going to be a big favourite, and he'll try and do that. He'll mix it up, and when the chances arise, Mark can score as good as anybody, but he's so astute in the tactical department, and he will test Si Jiahui in every single way he can. And that's what makes tonight so fascinating, because it's like, it's the old bull against the young bull, you know, and it's two completely different games.
Properly, stars make fights, and this one really isn't to be missed. But as for the action this afternoon, it's currently Judd Trump 3, Shaun Murphy 1. Although, in theory, you could say Judd Trump is well out in the lead, I'll remind you of 24 hours ago, he said at this point against Neil Robertson, he actually didn't feel great going into the interval. So how will he be feeling now? We don't know, but we do know he'll be back very shortly after the break. on the line. £200,000 for the winner. Judd Trump 3 away. Will he manage to get across the line? Let's hand to our commentary team of Stephen Holworth. But first, Phil Yates.
There is no doubt that Judd Trump is looking good. But Shaun Murphy has given himself a little more than a lifeline, winning that fourth frame, especially the way he did it. And if you recall the quarter-final yesterday, Trump was very efficient, as he was today, in leading 3-0. And then in mid-match, it was Robertson who had the momentum. Had it not been for a missed blue off its spot to the green pocket when he was in command in the 8th frame, he might well have tied the scores. So Murphy might gain some encouragement from that, Stephen.
Yeah, he'll be looking for any sort of encouragement, won't he? But that frame before the interval could well be massive. We'll soon find out. Murphy having to just cling on to any sort of hope in this match. Try and find any way back in. That opening red for the frame winning break in the previous was exceptional. Murphy will be hoping that that now will provide a springboard to the comeback in this match.
If he wins the match today, he'll take his total career earnings, Shaun Murphy, over £6 million. Problem is, Trump seems to be on the money himself.
So Shaun straight away down the business end of the table, just having a look at what danger there is. He's got this red to right corner as an option. Can he knock it in, find the path for the cue ball around the back of the black, back out for pink or blue?
That little flick retained the cue ball in centre table. Not straightforward though for Trump, far from it. An easily missable pot, and the black a little obscured. Yeah, had to play with power, and that wasn't convincing. Doesn't lack experience at this stage of a tournament, Murphy. This is 52nd ranking event semi-final. But Trump's been in more, even though he's the younger man, 63.
So coming straight on the blue means that Murphy's next shot will be from distance, further away than he would have liked, but potentially one good pot away on his next red from getting back in prime position. There's a number of players on the tour that would have chosen to screw that cue ball back a lot further to play it with hand on table, albeit the red would have been thinner. The fact that Murphy's left this knowing he's going to be using the rest tells you everything you need to know. He fancies it, but he's missed it. We're so used to seeing him knock in that type of shot with the rest, so very good with that piece of apparatus, and worse for him, the red has come down the table. Judd can clip this red in.
You're right, Stephen, it was a surprising miss. Not just the fact he missed it, but how far he missed it by. Did not threaten. Until the arrival on the scene of Kyron Wilson, I think it was generally regarded that Shaun Murphy was the best rest player in the world. Now I think Wilson has taken that mantle, but Murphy is still very good indeed. That was entirely uncharacteristic, and it's the kind of thing that Trump knows has to be swooped upon.
Well, that time he did take the chance to get into the pack of reds, and it's paid off. What a brilliant shot from Judd Trump. Now, does this black pass to right corner? Well, it's very tight, and it's not necessarily the sort of shot you want to leave, so you may look to try and land on the red just right of the black at some stage. May just squeeze in, and if he does play on the black, he'd like to be pretty much straight on it. So now coming round to have a look at where he wants to leave his cue ball now. He's got one or two reds that may be available.
That tells us the white didn't travel quite as much as he wanted. Well recovered.
17.
But more recovery work needed. It's a telltale sign with Judd Trump when he stays down on the shot like that. You know, there's an element of doubt as to whether the pot will go. The yellow wasn't easy, but it's the kind of ball he knocks in on a regular basis.
And a slight result, I suppose, catching the knuckle of the middle pocket. It just meant that the cue ball travelled down the cushion, making this next shot for Shaun Murphy more difficult than it perhaps could have been.
Has to be pretty happy with that. Not the kind of shot you play on a regular kind of theme, is it? That particular one to take the cue ball behind the brown, but he's done more than okay.
Yeah, now Judd possibly trying 2 cushions. No, he's going to try and nestle up to the red next to the black. Yeah, he's done okay there. Didn't want to find the gap, otherwise he would have stuck Shaun right in amongst them.
So far, it's a typical semi-final involving 2 world-class players who have immense mutual respect. Yes, limited fireworks, but abundant intensity.
Shaun trying to get that cue ball right on top of that yellow. Just slightly short of pace now. Judd having a good look at this red. Well, it may just creep in off that jaw. Either way, he's going to be focused on getting a good cue ball back in balk. Well, disaster, he needs help now. Is the cue ball going to go in behind the brown? Well, would you believe it? Shaun can't.
Yeah, it's the same expression on Murphy's face. He had a couple of times yesterday when Zhao Guodong had a couple of outrageous flukes. This not a fluke, but it's as good as.
I mean, he's in real trouble here, Shaun. He can't really play off the reds to go back to balk. And how does he get to that red over the corner pocket without a scenic route? Trying to check the cue ball back down the right side of the table, and now Shaun Murphy needs some help, but he's not going to get it. He was in real trouble there, Shaun, through no fault of his own.
Not the best from Trump. Does he have the yellow as any kind of fail-safe? It's a very messy table.
Yeah, and even if he does pop the yellow, it's about how does he get back down the business end of the table. Usually trying to top this with pace, it can kind of reverse the spin off the cushion. So he's gone lower. Trying to pump it round the angles. Oh, what a flick he's had off the brown there. I'm sure there'll be a little shake of the head from Shaun if we get a little look of him again. The smirk. A classic.
The smirk from the Smurf. Anyone who tells you that luck doesn't play a big part in sport isn't onto it. Of course it does, but it's what you do with your good luck.
9.
And it's also the timing of the luck as well, when you get it. fluking a ball in the first frame in round 1 of the event doesn't seem anywhere near as important. It isn't as anywhere near as important as getting a fluke and losing the frame in the semi-finals. But Shaun just has to be delighted that that little rub of the green from Judd hasn't cost him the frame. The fact that he is back at the table now and he is in control of what happens from here. It's up to him now to play the next shot.
Deserved applause, I think. But Murphy's safety was purely containment. It didn't put Trump under any tactical pressure. Trump said something after the Robertson match, which I think applies to the current situation. He said against a top player, you never want to lose momentum, and that's what he's desperately trying to avoid here. Get to 4-1, and then maybe he can be a little more expressive. They clap, but that was a flick off the other red, as if Shaun Murphy needed anything else to darken his mood.
Especially if Judd can sneak in behind the green here.
Well, there's no room for guilt in snooker.
I can assure you, Judd Trump will not be feeling any guilt. He'll be glad to see it. It's up to Shaun to just weather this storm at the moment. Just ride it out, try and just buy himself a few shots, buy his way back into this frame if he can with a few containing shots. It's a huge frame in the context of the match. He doesn't want to go too far behind again. He has been largely frozen out of this match so far today, Shaun Murphy. Judd Trump just demonstrating his champion qualities, just keeping his foot on Shaun, keeping him under pressure.
Because Trump's known for naughty snooker and big breaks and cavalier pots, people sometimes don't realise just how good a safety player he is. I was talking to Jack Trump, Judd's brother, yesterday, and I said,
8.
with Judd, I used the analogy of a golfer who hits the ball 350 yards off the tee. Everyone thinks he's a massive hitter, and that's what they zone in on, and that's his sporting persona. But they can also putt, and that's the same thing with Trump. Yes, he's a wonderful break builder and scorer, but when he needs to shut up shop, he can do it with the best.
16.
Particularly in this match early on, I was so impressed with how measured Judd has been, leaving absolutely nothing to chance. The moments where I even thought he may have gone into the pack, he chose against it just to chip away at the reds, just take the loose ones, and as I say, leaving nothing to chance, making absolute certain of the frame before unleashing. Got to the stage of his career now where he just doesn't care how it looks. It's about winning, getting that W, getting that trophy. It's relentless.
Yes, shrewd safety player, great potter, big scorer, and you throw a little bit of good fortune into the mix, which he's enjoyed in this frame, and that equals unbeatable.
Shaun, 31.
Not happy with that. That would definitely have sealed the frame.
Yeah, surprising miss considering he was doing nothing with the cue ball there. Usually they're very accepting down the rails, and now this frame is far from over. If Shaun Murphy can pot this red, get on the black, that red is a very good target for snookers behind the black.
What?
Pretty much the next time Judd Trump gets out of his seat and comes to the table, he should be welded to the underside of that black. And now Shaun will be looking to send that red into an area close to baulk colours, which makes Judd Trump's escape more difficult. The possibility of a free ball potentially. Does only need one snooker though, and there is that snooker.
Some more ammunition in Trump's armoury. Escaping snookers. He's excellent. He'll need to be here.
Yeah, it's not all that difficult, this one. He just needs to be 100% sure. Judd Trump coming off the side cushion, right side cushion, little tracer left-hand side. He's got a big target because the red is closer to the cushion. Well, in fact, he didn't need the side, it was just a natural, but again, same thing applies. He'll be behind the yellow next time.
Yes, and this escape is a little more complex.
Yeah, the path is more complex for the cue ball and getting to it. But again, the fact that Shaun pushed that red close to the corner, close to a side cushion, does make it a bigger target for Judd. If it's in the middle of the table, it becomes very difficult. Could go in and out of baulk, just past the blue. Try and find somewhere down this corner of the table, knowing that if you don't hit it on the way down, you may catch it on the way back up. There's a couple of chances for Judd to hit this red that way. But remember, he does have to hit this red.
Yes, if he gives 4 penalty points away, Murphy with red, black and all the colours can win the frame by a single point.
Foul. Shaun Murphy. 5.
Well, no, miscalled. The only positive about that shot, he's got the blue off its spot. That's the only possible thing you can say is in Trump's favour. Everything else has just turned in favour of the magician.
What?
So how big is that red going to be that Judd Trump missed down the rail a few moments ago? He was doing nothing with the cue ball on that shot, fully expected him to just drop it in. He was up quickly, off it. Could that be a turning point in this match? This is such a big frame for Shaun Murphy. If he can mop these remaining 6 colours up, I'm pretty confident he'll go back to his seat or leave the arena doing internal fist pumps. This really is huge.
10.
And because of the semi-awkwardness of the blue, it's crucial he drops nicely on the brown. That's nice enough.
If he's just off straight on this brown, he's absolutely perfect because he can just top it, just almost past the blue across the face of it. Middle or corner pocket. Got a lot of room for error.
70.
Well, it's come up a little awkward than it may have been. So, one good pot, Shaun.
Shaun Murphy.
The miss with the rest again. Trump absolutely ecstatic to come back to the table.
Yes, he can't believe his luck, Judd Trump here. Shaun did just leave that blue a little more difficult than he could have done. He had a big target to get that cue ball. There was no reason he should have been playing that blue with the rest. What a huge frame this has now become.
Everyone remembers the frames with the big breaks, but it's this kind of frame that makes all the difference.
Knowledge. Well, he'll be chalking that up in his own mind, Shaun Murphy, after the frame so far. In a strange way, he'll probably feel he deserved it. Judd Trump won't feel that way.
Yeah, that's the worst thing for Trump. He can't legitimately moan. He had 3 slices of good fortune mid-frame, but that was outlandish.
So, Shaun Murphy comes back to the table with sights at this long blue, helped by the fact that pink has been pushed towards that corner pocket. Just pop the blue, you'll have a shot at the pink. Can he knock it in? Oh, brilliant cueing from Shaun Murphy. What a strike that is. And this is a massive, massive frame. Can he pot this pink and black? Again, brilliant. Right down the line of that one. He stayed with it the whole way. So this black for a massive frame. Possibly a big turning point, that missed red from Judd.
Lady Luck switched allegiance. It looked for all the world as though that man, Judd Trump, was going to take a 4-1 lead. But Shaun Murphy, despite needing a snooker at his lowest ebb, is now only 3-2 behind. This is the ancient capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But now modern Riyadh, well, it rivals modern cities around the world for its beautiful architecture. Striking, stunning. It's home to more than 7.8 million people. And I'll tell you what, the cityscape here has to be seen to be believed. Much like frame 5, much like this red. We couldn't quite comprehend it stayed on the table, but what a turning point.
Could be a huge turning point. As we said, didn't expect Judd to miss that one, having nothing to do with the cue ball. He was up very quick off it. He knew straight away that that was heading nowhere near the destination intended. Shaun Murphy then got the snooker required and then did the business. 3-2, all of a sudden, game on.
Yes, here in Riyadh, so many world-class sporting events. And I think this tournament has captured the imagination as well. It's frames like that, those dramatic finishes that make snooker what it is. Pure theatre. when you've won a World Championship, you've won 28 world ranking titles, you can withstand a mini crisis. But Trump will be keen to win this frame and start the process of pulling away.
Again, the safety shot from Shaun putting Judd under no pressure whatsoever there. Hand on table. There's no way his hand should have been on the table there to even be tempted by that red to corner. And he doesn't need asking twice, Judd Trump, to line up a long one.
6.
Brilliant pot again.
7.
We saw this last night from Wee against Ronnie O'Sullivan, losing a couple of frames twice in the match, but on both occasions finding a response. That's what Trump requires here.
This time making sure he does land low on this red at the back of the pack, so pot this, bring some more reds into play. Keep yourself on the black.
21.
The thing that fascinates me most in any top sport, but in particular snooker, the mentality and the psychology of the players when they've just been struck like that in the previous frame, the resilience to come back and just erase that from memory, just carry on as if nothing had happened. Something has happened, something very significant has happened. Shaun Murphy has just won the previous frame needing a snooker. But all of a sudden, Judd back into a rhythm again, as if it never happened. That's why these players are so good. They almost don't get the respect they deserve. On a global sporting scale, it's so impressive what they're doing.
35. 36.
Doesn't want to be straight. He is straight. So going into the pack of 5, not viable. Well, if the red goes to top right, that's worked out a treat, Stephen.
Yeah, chose to play the blue in a more difficult way, thin into the middle pocket, knowing that the cue ball was pretty much going to do the work for him there. As long as he missed the yellow, he was always going close to those 2 reds. He couldn't have wished for a better result, really.
42.
And now he's got the angle on this pink again to just play a slight delicate cannon into the reds, try and just push a couple more into play. Just come round to have a little look at what sort of contact he may find.
he just consistently, in break building terms,
48.
makes something out of seemingly nothing.
49.
It's genius in his own sort of way, really. You know, how he's going about this particular break is so impressive. He's come to the table. Murphy's thinking, yeah, good opening red. Well, I'd like to see you clear the table from here, and all of a sudden Judd Trump has got a chance of winning the frame at this visit. He should win the frame now.
And after what occurred in the previous frame, he won't be content with frame ball. He'll want frame ball plus 2 or 3.
It's very much a theme of Judd's game now, is mental strength, and never knows when he's beat. But in particular against Shaun Murphy, as he plays a wonderful positional shot here. Utter brilliance from Judd Trump.
70.
In particular against Shaun Murphy in their previous few meetings. Shaun has thrown barrages of break building at Judd,
71.
and it just hasn't been good enough. What has he got to do to beat this man?
Well, now the frame is under lock and key. He goes in search of yet another century,
79.
trying to inch towards history. If he does get to 3 figures here, it would be his 998th century in professional competition. And he's very keen to get there as quickly as possible.
$85. $86.
These two are 1 and 2 in the century made this season. 17 for Trump, 14 for Murphy. Oh, and sadly it's going to remain 17 for now. But after what occurred in the previous frame, that was the definition of a gutsy response. Trump back in front by 2 at 4-2. For those of us who can remember snooker in the 90s, that was Hendry-esque, what Trump has just done there. Shaun Murphy got close, so Trump realised the importance of making his presence felt again. It was a tremendous response to fifth frame adversity.
Shaun,
So back to where he started this session after the interval, Shaun Murphy, 2 adrift again. He didn't really do all that wrong in the previous frame, just the safety shot from the pack. Didn't quite find the baulk cushion, left him with hand on table. And you don't want to leave Judd Trump with hand on table with sights at a long red, because we've all just witnessed the result of that. What a break that was, by the way. How has he cleared the table or made enough to win the frame from that visit? Pure brilliance.
When you're in a highly pressurised snooker situation, sometimes a demon can come and sit on the shoulder and start chirping away in the ear. The one that Trump needs to ignore right now is the one that says, you should be 5-1 up. Perhaps he should have been. He isn't. Just forget what occurred now. Draw plenty of inspiration and satisfaction from the way you won frame 6 and kick on.
The way he's responded, the way he won that last frame, I think that misread down the rail, and the frame that Murphy won needing a snooker will be forgotten. That's just how quickly things can turn around. Winning that last frame has given him a cushion again.
When you trickle a ball like that, you are trusting the table, and we all saw it was very true. I think that point has to be made, Stephen. The conditions here this week have been absolutely top-notch, haven't they?
Yes, absolutely, they have been brilliant. I always fancied them to be good, with it being so hot outside, but a very dry heat. Not a lot of humidity in the air, which
this touching ball
can really help the players bring out the best in themselves.
Guys, you just don't really good match at the moment. Guys, just move over, please.
Murphy just waiting until someone is out of his line of sight.
Can't believe that. Yeah, I can't believe that. Sorry.
Well, that was a very poor shot, and you can only assume he's more than a little annoyed. Caught that thick, too thick, but he's okay, and perhaps justice has prevailed there.
Or has it? Judd Trump eyed up that plant. And talk about shot maker. There was a bit of distance between those two reds, coming at them from an unfavourable angle. Doing what he always does, he finds a way to knock them in. And that will be a sickener for Shaun Murphy to witness.
Yeah, can't help but feel a little sorry though for Murphy. Trump knows how he's feeling, and he'll want to make it worse. That's the way of the world.
4.
At this level of snooker, you have to be ruthlessly cruel.
5.
Dropped ideally there, Stephen, to open up the pink and give himself even more choices.
Yeah, getting the pink fully accessible was first priority for Judd Trump. He's happy to just leave that black where it is for the time being, just work off the pink. Plenty of reds in open play for him to go at. You have to fear the worst if you're in Shaun Murphy's corner at the moment. Judd Trump just looks to have been poked by Shaun Murphy winning that frame, just slightly agitated. Never poke a bear, they say. He's found another gear here, Judd Trump.
16. Seventeen. Free. $24.
So slowly chipping away at the balls here, Judd, as he pops one, it will just remove another around that black spot. So again, no real reason to not score heavily here. But for that initial match in this event against Ruiza, where Judd Trump could very well have been eliminated from this tournament at the first hurdle. From 4-0 down, he played superbly well, and then he's just gone from strength to strength. He played nicely against Jack Lazowski, his good friend, just brushed him aside with ease. And then really gave Neil Robertson the treatment yesterday as well. Tactically so good, scored when he had to. Just the all-round perfect performance, really.
Well, if he does go on to claim the title, it would be a repeat of the 2012 German Masters. In the last 32, Ronnie O'Sullivan was 4-0 down to Andrew Higginson. 1-5-4, never looked back. winning 5-4 from 4-0 is not a common occurrence.
45.
No, but what is a common occurrence in this day and age is Judd Trump winning frames in one visit.
$51. $52.
You give him an inch and he'll take a mile, this boy. He's playing some seriously good stuff. Thinking so well as well out there in the arena. Under pressure, to be able to think the way he does is the reason why he's winning so much.
59.
The game is there, of course, but what's between the ears is what's most impressive.
60.
Little smile because he knows he's got to pot this black and he doesn't want to pot this red down the rail. We all saw what happened 2 frames ago, but he may have no choice.
Just didn't fancy the red, so he tried to promote it a little, and that means loss of position. And so the frame remains alive. 5 reds left, therefore 67 points on the table, and that is Trump's current advantage.
And it may amount to nothing, but Shaun Murphy may see that as the first sign of weakness from Judd Trump. He allowed the negative thoughts of 2 frames ago, the red miss down the rail, to just influence his shot selection there. Another day, another table, another tournament. He just pots the black, rests up on that red and drops it down the rail, frame over, set him up.
Trump 67.
Not holding all the aces, but certainly 3 of them. The ace in the pack.
That's fine. I understand that. One.
Simply sensational from Shaun Murphy. What a pot.
Well, I bet Judd wishes he'd have dropped on that red now. What a ridiculous opening red that was from Shaun. How well has he hit that?
8.
Remember, he can only tie the frame at the moment, Shaun Murphy, but that was sheer brilliance.
9.
Trump didn't fancy it. What about the magician?
Well, another massive moment in this match. 3 key positional shots coming up here. Drop this red in, which is very awkward where the cue balls come to rest. Find an angle on the black to get over towards that red. Then find an angle to get back to black.
25.
Part 1 done. Pot the red now. Pot the black, get nicely on this red. Wants to be straight. He's gone a little bit far. Become a little bit awkward again.
32.
Kind of in between corner, left corner or right corner. Looks as if it's going to be left corner. So one good pot here, and surely he'll be plumb.
This could be a gargantuan clearance.
Remember, it means nothing if he doesn't win the respot. He's got to clear these 6 remaining colours to take us that far, and then he has to win the deciding black ball game.
Well, he's odds on now to tie the scores.
I know why Judd Trump didn't choose to play on that red down the cushion, but the fact that it was into the opposite corner pocket, I just fancied him playing on it. There's no reason that he shouldn't have played that shot. Only haunted by 2 frames ago, the same red into the opposite corner perhaps. And as I say, Shaun will have seen that as the first sign of weakness. Saw it as a chance to pounce. What an opening red he knocked in to make this chance possible. And what a dish this has been.
60.
Reds and all the colours not sufficient to determine who will win frame 7. We've got bonus action. Can Trump make it 5-2, or will Shaun Murphy get within 1? This is the most crucial part of this match, bar none.
Shaun, your call, please. Head to the choice.
So Shaun has won the toss and has elected to go first in this battle of the final black ball. He'll be splitting cue ball and object ball side to side.
And you would think, given the way the frame transpired, he would be feeling the better of the 2. The chance is there for Murphy to complete his second remarkable steal in 3 frames.
Well, this is the sort of shot you practice day in, day out, but this is not practice. Boom, what a pot from Shaun Murphy! And he gives it the big un! He absolutely loves it! What a moment that is! What a frame that could be!
Incredible stuff, especially following hard on the heels of frame 5. What a match, this first semi-final. A semi-final that began slowly is now turning into a classic. Shaun Murphy has plundered 2 frames from nowhere. It's not inconceivable that Murphy could have lost this match 6-1. As it is, he's only 4-3 behind. And bang in the reckoning.
Thank you, it's frame 8.
That really was one of the best frames, if not the best frame we've seen here in Saudi Arabia this week. An unbelievable dish from Shaun Murphy off an opening red that was just magnificent. What a frame. He's just fist pumped his way all the way to the bathroom to just calm himself down, and I'm not surprised. He got himself really pumped up there. The crowd were loving it. We were loving it. Pick a winner now.
Trump lost the 5th frame after Murphy needed a snooker. His response, a 93 break. He would love something similar here to re-establish breathing space. But what we've already found out this afternoon, what we've already been reminded of, is that great tournaments produce great matches. And this most certainly is.
We've not seen Shaun Murphy here on table 1 all week. He's been quietly going about business on the outside tables. Welcome the magician to centre stage, right where he belongs. That really was a masterclass frame from him. Judd Trump, how will he be regretting not going for that red down the rail? We'll soon find out. He's been tested once in this match, Judd Trump. The response he had to make 2 frames ago, he has to go again, because that one will have definitely hurt.
So much riding on this for Shaun Murphy. At the tail end of the season, he's going to lose all of his points.
If you come around from here, you can clearly see the gap.
For winning the Players' Championship and Tour Championship in early 2023. But 500,000 ranking points here, that would more than compensate. And if he did win the tournament, he would leave Riyadh as the world number 2, his highest ever world ranking. Best so far, world number 3. Well, we've had one re-rack. Are we going to see another one?
Both reds.
Well, it's touching ball. So forget the re-rack.
Shaun just needs to calm things down now. That last frame would have taken an awful lot out of him. It took a lot out of me watching. But he's got back into this match. He's got to refine that focus, refine that discipline. Try and keep pressure on Judd Trump. Ask him the question again. He's continuously come up with the answers, Judd Trump. That felt like such a big moment, that frame. And Shaun really tried to rub it in as well, give it the big one as he left the arena. I don't blame him, why not? Love to see it. It's what top-class sport is all about. It shows how much they want it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Stephen. I think it's great to see players show their emotions and their delight. The crowd loved it as well. Sometimes, though, it can be counterproductive because it can rev the other guy up. So often when a player steals a frame, they get the first scoring chance in the next. That most certainly is not the case here.
You know, it was a tough pot anyway, but made more difficult by having to try to screw the cue ball back top side of the blue. So can Judd Trump get himself in here with one good pot with this rest? Yeah, well played.
One.
Now, he called that one slightly too thin. That's why the cue ball has travelled a little more than he wanted it, and that's why it's close to a side cushion. This is fiddly.
Seven.
So the red just slightly to the left and above the pink is just obstructing Judd's access to it into middle and corner pocket. He'd like to remove that at some stage, but he has got blue and pink to work off for the time being. You're about to find out exactly why Judd Trump is world number 1.
14.
Why he is the best player on planet Earth. To take what he has done in this match so far already, 2 particularly big frames, none bigger than the previous, and the way that he lost it, to then stand up and
19.
go again, respond himself. He's got the chance here. Let's see if he can take it.
Didn't seem the sweetest of contacts there. That's why he's short of the blue. But when it comes to avoiding ball colours and going in and out of that area of the table,
25.
No one is better than the man in play right now. Correct side of the blue this time.
33. 38.
And another brilliant cannon to the pack of reds. Perfect control, pushing a couple more into play. Still only 38 points in front this frame. Plenty of work left to be done, but this is a chance to win the frame now.
So a couple of kisses there mean that this pink to middle is the real deal when it comes to pressure shots. Just had a feeling.
Judd Trump, 39.
So, a possible kink in the armour. Now, can Shaun Murphy again step up and deal some damage to Judd Trump? By no means a frame clinching chance, this. But what he can do is at least get himself back into contention. Take us the distance again in this frame. Well, that is no good, and he knows it. Trying to open things up there, get on the black, get that back on its spot when it's gone wrong, so pretty abrupt end to this contribution from Shaun. No damage done to the scoreboard, but has to take a second here, just realise he's got the chance to play a good safety shot, try and get Trump in trouble if he can.
Shaun Murphy, 7.
At least Murphy's achieved distance. Understandably, given the way this match has meandered and then suddenly come to life, it all seems a little nervy. You would expect nothing less.
Following us. Shaun Murphy, 4. Back in.
Giving 4 points away, just a minor hindrance. The main thing is to be delicate here. Marcel Lecomte, the referee, not looking to the heavens for inspiration. That's where the monitor is to tell him where the white was placed originally.
Okay. Yeah, you happy with that, Shaun? Thank you.
Delicacy called for, delicacy delivered. There will be no swift conclusion to this frame, Stephen.
It's gone very cagey, and I'm not surprised. Both players realise the importance of it. Judd wins it, he goes within one of a place in the final. If Shaun wins it, it becomes a best of 3. Huge prize at stake this week. Both players very close to getting into that final, get into that title match.
It was a good white. There is no disputing that.
Well, this would be some pot. Very, very tough from bang under the baulk cushion. No damage done though. Unless Judd can see this red just underneath the pink spot as a potential shot to nothing. There may be value in it with the green being slightly, well, being well off its spot. He can play into baulk knowing that he could get on that.
It went to the wire when these two met each other in the Riyadh season World Masters of Snooker last season. 4-3. Trump trailed 2-0 and 3-2, got the verdict in the end. This time it's Murphy who's trying to fight back. What a cracking pot, and any points that Trump can muster, given his already 29-point advantage, very useful given the total awkwardness of the majority of reds.
he's done very well to get where he has from where he was. 33 points in front. Black takes him to 40, but still 59 remain on the table, so he needs a couple of the safe reds anyway. As you said, Phil, just doing damage to the score, just taking those points away from Shaun Murphy.
12.
Sometimes a 40-point lead with 59 on can seem like nothing. You can be vulnerable if the balls are all in the open. This is a very handy advantage.
There may be a mini passage of play here of just keeping things very tight, very conservative, but at some stage Shaun will be playing safe off that little cluster around the pink. And if he gets that one shot right, he could put Judd in a lot of trouble.
He played that quietly because the last thing he wanted was the red to rattle around in the jaws, go across the table and split up the others.
That's a big miss from Shaun, really. He was looking for a good angle on that blue to get into them reds. Possibly just had his sights on that. Forgot to pot the red. We won't be seeing Judd Trump open these balls. He'll be trying to find a thin edge if he can. That's okay. That's in behind the yellow.
Murphy is good friends with Mark Selby, and I tell you what, Selby would have been proud of that one. He's the king of that kind of shot. That, Stephen, is the constant danger when you play safe that way. The double kiss is always on.
Yeah, and that's why he was trying to find a real thin edge on that red, Judd. And at first glance he thought he may have got away with it, but this red is available to right middle, sorry. It's just, can he control the cue ball enough? It's very thin. Always seemed unlikely he was going to find a nice angle on his colour, particularly blue, to get back down this end of the table, so going to be taking the scenic route. No, well, that's not too bad. Can clip this red back, but his next positional shot is key. If he can pop this red and get nice on blue or bought colour, leave himself a favourable angle to get into those reds. This looks good. Well, that's very good. That's nearly perfect, I think. He can just run this cue ball, preferably if he could pick just the right side of the pink. Yeah, that's a brilliant effort. Brilliant attempt. Slightly thicker contact, and he may have just brought the red slightly closer to this right corner, may have pushed the other red out as well a bit better. Brilliant effort from Shaun.
It was. I think Trump was fearing worse than that, though. This really is an abnormality. Shaun Murphy's rest play is letting him down.
It was not an easy shot, that. Very, very thin. Had all the equipment out. That added weight on the back of the cue makes a difference there. What a relief for Judd Trump.
But this straightforward blue will not be enough.
Yeah, we'll look at his options here as to whether there's value in potting a baulk colour, trying to get closer to the red, or if there's value in just pushing a colour safe at this instance. If he pots a colour, he's just taking the points. He needs to make sure he leaves himself nice enough to play a good safety shot on the red. He can't really get too close to it.
Will the magician delve into his spell book of escapology again?
Yeah, I miscounted myself there, actually. There was value in potting the blue. Obviously, where that black is on the side cushion means Shaun is 34 points behind. He needs a black off this red, which is very unlikely where it is. So Judd Trump very much in the box seat in this frame. He has to say it's been a very cagey frame, but a very important one.
Yeah, it's all about, as you said earlier, getting the W. Doesn't matter how it's achieved. Let me tell you, on these pockets, these unforgiving middle pockets, that was not easy. That was a really good frame ball to knock in. Shaun Murphy needs a couple of snookers. After what happened in the 5th frame and the 7th, Trump not falling victim to even the merest scintilla of complacency. I'll tell you what Trump's thinking now, Stephen. Not again.
Well, for a minute, I think Shaun probably thought that that cue ball was going to hold up and Judd would have just got down and knocked that yellow in. Should be a straightforward enough escape for Judd. Well.
Foul. Shaun Murphy 4.
Could he? I mean, the colours on the table are in pretty decent spots to try and lay snookers, so Shaun Murphy will definitely fancy at least getting close to laying a good snooker. This isn't too bad either. This is a brilliant shot. Oh, that yellow's just crept on. He played a very good line there with the cue ball, Shaun. He was close to actually nailing Judd there.
This game plays tricks with the mind, even with the mind of the current world #1 and a former world champion. He just wants to get this frame out of the way. A frame, by the way, that's lasted 30 minutes. It's not been especially attractive, but it's been gripping. Stubborn Shaun trying to steal yet another frame. So Murphy gets Trump in a spot of bother. He's 31 behind, 27 on, so 1 4-point penalty and all the colours, and he'd force a respotted black for the second frame in succession. Now, Stephen, successive respotted blacks, they are a rarity.
Go on, you're eager to tell me.
I'm not, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very, very uncommon, but there's still a long way for Shaun to go here. It's not just laying the snooker, it's laying a very good one. It's all well and good getting that cue ball in behind a colour. If it's an easy escape for Judd, he will hit it. And then with that yellow finding the back of the leather, that surely now is the frame. So Judd Trump has battled hard. Just over 30 minutes of play this frame, but a very, very important one for Judd Trump to win, just to re-establish a comfortable lead in this match. He's now 1 away from a shot at the title.
The game seems easy again. Two playing dimensions for snooker, 12 by 6 the table, and it's the 6 inches between the ears. Judd Trump is 2 up with 3 to play. He's 1 frame away from the final, but I tell you what, this match is still to be won.